We're joined in the NASDAQ market site this morning by Scott Wollney, who's CEO of Atlas Financial, talking about all the kinds of insurance that you wind up providing different kinds of products and services. One of the things that we're focusing on right now is the incident that happened with Uber, where a young girl was killed on New Year's Eve by an Uber driver. Now there's a big lawsuit brewing over that. How, I guess, do you view how ride sharing and insurance are impacting one another?
Well, they're obviously intertwined. In our experience, and the companies we own have specialized in taxi, limousine, and paratransit insurance for decades. Really the biggest predictor of loss is the driver. And so other than geographic territory where they're operating, driver safety is paramount, both from our perspective in terms of exposure to loss, but really, I think from the passenger's perspective, prevention of loss.
Right. And what at Atlas Financial, you're a NASDAQ listed company. Where are you seeing the most growth in your business right now?
So we focus on three sectors: taxi, limousine, and paratransit. Taxi and limousine are both growing at about 2 to 3% a year in terms of the overall addressable market. Paratransit is growing at more like 6 to 7% a year, driven to a great extent by aging population and an increased number of specialty programs where students and older people are being driven from one facility to another. So in terms of the addressable market, that's where we're seeing the greatest growth.
All right, and one last one. In the U.S., where I guess is the biggest growth in business right now? Is it in taxis, is it in the limos, or is it actually in the paratransit line of business?
So our overall business has actually been growing faster in the taxi segment. That has more to do with market dynamics than the size of the overall market. We right now have about a 7% market share. We think proportionate share is about 20%. And so we anticipate a significant amount of growth as we capture more share in the 40 states plus Washington, D.C., where we're writing, before we get to a point where the overall size of the addressable market is going to dictate our growth level.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us here at the NASDAQ market site this morning.
Thank you, John.
I'm John Marino with Scott Wollney of Atlas Financial.